Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have some very interesting updates to share about Donald Trump. First up is news about Trump coming up with the money to cover that massive $464 million judgment in New York. It was just reported this afternoon that Attorney General Letitia James quietly filed a blanket lien on Trump's properties and companies all the way back on March 6th. According to the Daily Beast, the AG's office filed a judgment against the Trumps, and two employees of the Westchester County Clerk's office told the news outlet that it effectively means that the AG has placed liens on all properties belonging to Trump, Don Jr., Eric, and the Trump Organization, as well as two of their other, quote, listed corporate entities. So Westchester County, New York is the location of Trump's Seven Springs estate. So she's ready to roll. The Attorney General, in case Trump can't come up with the bond money for his massive fraud trial judgment, plus the interest and penalties, she is ready to go. She is ready to start seizing properties. As you all know, this is important because Trump is claiming he can't find a surety company willing to lend him that much money with only real estate as collateral. And according to CNN sources, Trump is starting to panic. So not just about the potential of losing some assets, which of course freaks him out, but also just the optics of it all because he is so well known for being a wealthy man. And now New York Attorney General Letitia James is exposing him for the fraud that he is because Trump told the court he has over $300 million in liquid assets. He's saying that's what he has cash on hand. So technically, he doesn't have to take out the full bond, the full $464 million. He could, according to his own statements, his own assessment of his finances, he could pay a large portion of that in cash and then appeal the judgment. He can get the rest in the bonds, and or, as the Attorney General pointed out, he could take out numerous loans from several different surety companies. Trump claims that these companies aren't willing to loan more than $100 million. So the Attorney General is asking the court, okay, why can't he get 4 or 5 different companies to each lend him a portion of it? He also has had 30 days to come up with this money. So if he started the process right after he was hit with this judgment, he could have potentially refinanced several of his properties with cash out loans, right? Oh, wait, that's right. He doesn't actually have a lot of equity in his so-called big, beautiful properties. Check this out. For those listening on the podcast, what I'm showing is a spreadsheet that was shared by legal analyst Lisa Rubin. It lists all of Trump's properties and the outstanding loans on each one. So this list was generated about 6 months ago. It's fairly recent. And it shows a loan of more than $50 million on Trump Tower. Doesn't say exactly how much, but over $50 million. His 40 Wall Street property, which would be prime real estate for the Attorney General to seize, that also shows a loan of more than $50 million. Same thing with his Trump Doral golf course. So Mar-a-Lago might be the better property to go after because the spreadsheet shows that the mortgage is somewhere between $5 million and $25 million. Now, I don't understand. I don't get why he gets away with showing such a wide range on that, but that's how several of these loans are listed for his properties. So poor Melania, gotta feel for her. I mean, she had to sleep with that orange ogre all of these years, and she's thinking, it's okay. It's okay. Someday I get my paper. Someday I gonna get that paper. Right? As it turns out, no, homeboy's broke. He is B-R-O-K. Can't even afford to buy a vowel for the E. Oh, well. Anyway, Letitia James is also now asking for proof that Trump has been turned down for these loans because she's also questioning whether or not he is just not willing to go along with the terms that they're offering. that could be the case. I mean, they could be saying, yeah, I'll loan you the money. These surety companies will give you the money, but it's going to cost you. You're going to pay through the nose. So is he really unable to take these loans out, or is he just saying, no, I don't want to pay that much? And then what was funny is the AG threw some shade at Trump and his property values. In a court filing, they wrote, quote, as far as the court can infer, sureties may have refused to accept defendant specific holdings as collateral because using Mr. Trump's real estate will generally need a property appraisal, and his holdings are not nearly as valuable as defendants claim. So that's that. And then Trump received some more bad news in this case because Judge Arthur Engoron just expanded the authority of the Trump Organization Monitor. So as you all know, there's a former federal judge named Barbara Jones. She was assigned to essentially be a babysitter to make sure that Trump and his devil spawn don't try to hide their assets or drain the bank accounts. Well, up until now, the Trump family and the company had to notify her of any new business deals that were in the works. They also had to tell her if there was going to be a transaction of more than $5 million. Well, Judge Engoron just now granted her the authority to monitor the day-to-day activities of the Trump Organization. So she can now review all of their internal records, all of their accounting practices, and she can hire outside contractors, he said, if necessary, to try to make sure that they don't do anything nefarious. The best part is Trump has to pay for all of this. It's just too good. So next up is news about Trump's upcoming hush money to a porn star trial. The judge in that case is Juan Merchan. He made a very consequential ruling on Monday. Judge Merchan told Trump he cannot use one of his primary arguments that he was planning to make as his defense. The ruling stated, quote, defendant may not offer or even suggest the defense of presence of counsel. To allow said defense in this matter would effectively permit defendant to invoke the very defense he has declared he will not rely upon without the concomitant obligations that come with it. So here's what this is about. And this is my take as a non-attorney. For the attorneys and judges watching, feel free, let me know if I'm wrong on this, but defendants will sometimes use advice of counsel as a defense. So that means, gee, I didn't know what I was doing. I took the advice of my attorney. So, I'm not the one to blame. They're the one to blame. Well, that defense comes with some risk because it's my understanding the defendant has to testify if they're called by the prosecutor. Because if your argument is you were given bad legal advice, bad advice by your attorney, then you have to be able to explain it. You have to be willing to get on the stand and explain, here's what they said, here's what I said, here's how things went down, and you forfeit your right to attorney-client privilege. You have to give up the goods. You have to give up all communication, written and otherwise with them. You have to be willing to spill the beans, spill the tea. So obviously, Trump's attorneys, they know how ignorant he is, so they don't want him on the stand. And Trump doesn't want to remove all attorney-client privilege because Michael Cohen will be completely unleashed at that point. He can tell all of Trump's dirty little secrets. So instead of claiming advice of counsel, quote unquote, Trump's team thought that they were going to be cute. And they said, oh, well, what Trump did, he did in the presence of counsel. So Judge Merchan has been around the block a few times, and he's dealt with Trump and all of his reindeer games for a long time now. So he is not going to let them get away with this sleight of hand. So Trump can no longer use that as a defense. His attorneys can't even mention or hint at that during the trial. Next up is some not so great news about the Georgia case. The judge approved Trump's request to appeal his decision to allow Fani Willis to remain on the case. As you all know, The judge had ruled that District Attorney Fani Willis could stay on the case as long as lead prosecutor Nathan Wade stepped down because of the appearance of a conflict of interest, because it had been revealed they had a romantic relationship. So Trump and some of his co-defendants want to appeal that decision. Now, the judge said, no, the trial will continue to move forward as you appeal, but it could still cause some delays. I mean, if they do succeed in getting her kicked off the case, that's going to be a major blow. So the case would be moved to a different jurisdiction. It could be far more favorable to Trump and his allies, more conservative. So we'll see. Anyway, I will let you know when I hear more, but more good news than bad. So please please like this video, share it with other people, become a subscriber if you haven't, donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.